What up, players? Cephas here, and I am doing a follow-up video from the Toxicant SIG Rattler LT. Those of you who watched that video, I appreciate it. Thanks for the comments. Your views always mean a lot to me. However, what I want to do is a video to talk about what I left off from that video, which was how I accessorize it, or else that video would have been like 30-40 minutes long, etc. So this video is about how I accessorized my SIG Rattler LT and how you can accessorize it and perhaps get some inspiration about your build. Because in Airsoft, it's all about looking good and LARPing as hard as you can. We have our Toxicant SIG Suppressor MCX QD CAG. The QD is because they give you the steel flash hider that is, you can just, it's a taper, right? So you can switch like that. So it comes off nicely. You've seen this before in the video, but that is part of the package. When you get the suppressor, you get the taper steel flash hider, okay? In the suppressor here, I have a tracer unit. And tracer units are useful because you can see where your rounds are going. If you're playing at night, that's always helpful. And also if you're playing in indoor games, whereas the light isn't as bright, it's good to see, track where your rounds are going. In here, I have one of the more popular tracer brands out there, which is Acetech. And so I'll take it out here and you screw it off. The good thing about having these is that you can typically, I have a number of suppressors that I use, and I just carry over the tracer unit and I just kind of put another one and it kind of fits in there. Depends, some are bigger than others, so you may have to do some modification or to get it to sit flush in the middle, so you're not getting BB strikes hitting the tracer unit and therefore causing your BBs to go all different directions. Inside here, I put some electrical tape, as you might be able to see here. Let me kind of focus this, get out of the way. I put some electrical tape on this to get it to fit in there. I like this tracer unit because it allows to fire green and orange BBs, okay? And so that's a cool feature to have because it allows you to differentiate between the players around you, and it just gives it a little bit of variety because Airsoft's all about expression, about doing things cool, so I like that a lot. The next accessory that I've added to this is a flashlight. Now there are many flashlights out there, some better than others, have higher lumens, more spread, more concentrated light. There's no, I wouldn't say a perfect light out there, it just depends on what's your preference. For me, I like the Surefire Scout Light 640 DF. DF standing for dual fuel. However, I'm just using CR123s in this light. So I don't have to keep saying this anymore. Just consider everything replica unless I say otherwise, and I'll note it as being the real steel. I'll note all these things that these accessories that I will note, that I will put them in the description of this video. This particular light I got from Spec Precision, and so I'm going to go more in detail with my situation with Spec Precision in a different video. However, things have been going well, so we are resuming our relationship with them at this point. And so yeah, I feel it's always appropriate if people make amends, that it's good to give people a second chance. So we're continuing our relationship with them. With that being said, I bought this with my own money, okay? This is a Surefire replica that they sell. It comes with the pressure switch that I had here. I chose to get the MLOK Scout Pro mount right here, which I like because it allows the light to sit up more at what I would consider the 2 o'clock position as opposed to the 3 o'clock exactly, or I guess somewhere between like the 1 to 2-ish area, which I like. It makes it more compact as opposed to sticking out more. So that's what I did here. And plus, and then like I mentioned before, the MLOK here, okay? What I have here also is, for wire management, is the Emissary development modular clips. I like these a lot, actually. These are very cool. They're of the clip management systems that I've seen out there, they seem to be the easiest to install and also the lowest profile, which I like a lot. So I'm running a few of these here to kind of keep the wiring for the flashlight from dangling, because I don't want it to get caught up on anything as I'm using it in, using it in brush or in CQB environment, okay? I have the pressure switch right here that came with the lights. This is your typical Surefire pressure switch. And I have mounted it to the, I guess you can call this the 5 to 4 o'clock position right here. And so it's attached to the rail via 3M double-sided adhesive tape. It's very strong, so it's not going to come off just by itself, and it stays where it needs to go. And so when I activate it, I just kind of do one of these like that, okay? And then I can also activate it when I switch hands. I can still do that as well. And that was important for me because I wanted to be able to activate my light and laser, whether I go strong side or weak side. Moving up to the 12 o'clock position, I have the Acetech Replica OGL. I like this unit a lot. It has visible laser and IR laser, and it does have a little light thing here. But that light I wouldn't really use outside of just like map reading, or if you're doing something that's really close. It's pretty dim light, and it's all powered by one battery. So it's enough just to see where you're going for the first few feet in front of you. However, nothing that's going to blind anybody or flood an area, as opposed to what I use the scout light for. However, what I do like about this, it's very compact, as opposed to like a PEC 15. It's metal, or a type of metal, I guess you can call it. I don't know exactly, maybe a magnesium casing here and there, but it's metallic in nature. I do like it that it has a switch right here that you can increase or decrease the laser or light intensity, which is cool. And then it has an override switch on the top, so you can use it as opposed to having a pressure switch, which I have elected to do. So when I activate it, I use my thumb. A lot of places these days don't allow lasers because of the chance to blind somebody. I don't shine lasers to people's faces. What I normally use these for, though, is when I'm running night vision. Being able to aim with the laser is great, or if I'm using something that has an IR illuminator, that's what I use these for typically, okay? And so that is the laser aiming module that I have at the top here. This little Velcro strap that you see right here is just basically to kind of hold that flashlight in place. I imagine because this is a replica mount of the Scout light here, so I've tightened it as much as I can. However, it's still a little bit loose. I imagine the real one doesn't have that issue, but so it's fine. This works for me right here. At the 6 o'clock position, I have the stubby angled grip, and I like it because it's short, but it still allows me to get this little grip here, because you really don't have a lot of rail space when you're dealing with the Rattler here. And then finishing out the rail section, I have the BCM MLOK rail covers right here. I like these because you can cut them to length to whatever you need them. On top of that, they're very minimalistic, meaning they don't add a lot of width, and that's what I like. I don't want the grip to be bigger. I actually do like my rail sections to be as skinny as possible. Moving to the rear, we have a replica of the Magpul rail sling adapter right here. I like to use single point slings because I like to be able to do transitions seamlessly between my left hand and my right hand. But at the same time, when you're going to areas you like to hike, you don't want that thing to keep just like swinging between your legs. I find that to be kind of bothersome. So I use the Magpul Sling, which allows to convert to a 1-point to a 2-point. Adjacent to the RSA, we have my favorite optic that I'm using currently. I like this so much that I have two. I have one here that I'm using on my SIG Rattler, and I have another one right back there on my URGI. So I'm very satisfied with them. Eventually I'll do a review on this one. However, there's plenty out there. So I don't know if it's worth my time to do it. Long story short, I think it's fantastic. Okay. I have the a chopped Unity riser right here because I didn't want the whole part to kind of stick out farther, so I cut it and just kind of made it nice and smooth. I know there is a Unity mount out there. Actually, I have it on the URGI, the Unity mount for that. Here is the Unity mount here. And this is another thing that I got from Spec Precision. And has the trademarks and everything, which is pretty cool, I would say. And it does give a more streamlined look because it's just a piece. You have the optic mount and it goes directly to the rail of the gun. Whereas this setup here has the optic mount and then riser and then gun. So a little bit more complicated, a few more places of attachment. However, what I will say is that when I weighed this setup versus this setup is actually a little bit lighter. So yeah, that's my optic setup that I have for the SIG Rattler here. And then as we move towards the bottom where the magwell sits here, I have a HRF Concepts magwell for the SIG MCX line right here. At first I didn't think it would need it because the Rattler does have like a slight taper or enlarged magwell, but the problem that I find, it doesn't increase the slope area. It's still kind of your standard M4 type of insertion for your mags. And so especially in the CQB environments, I found it to be useful to have a magwell. And so now on all my guns, I have it on this one, I have it on my URGI back there. So I really like this product. It's a little bit pricey. However, I think it's worth it in my opinion if you're doing a lot of mag changes. It is I don't want to call it plastic, it's polymer in nature. However, I don't feel that it is prone to breaking. Yeah, I have 3 of them on my guns. They all work very well, and I feel that it will be part of this gun for a substantial amount of time. Moving towards the rear of the gun, we have a PTS QD Low Profile Sling swivel here. I like this because it's small. I didn't feel it was necessary to have this big bulky D-ring or whatever you want shape QD, and I thought this was perfect size to fit the small nature of the Rattler. It does the job, it sticks in there, so no complaints. Towards the rear here, we have what's called the Kate Moss skeletonized stock here. I like this, it does the job. In my previous video, I did mention that I was a little concerned that maybe it was a little bit too far off the shoulder, but through many games now I've used this, it's not an issue whether I'm using a chest rig that is low profile, or even if I'm using a plate carrier that I'm using, my Agilite plate carrier, my K0, I have no problems with that and it feels good to me. So no need to adjust that more or less. To the rear of the stock here, we have the SIG cheek riser, which I bought from SIG directly. It's nothing fancy, it's just something that gives you a little bit more height when you're for your cheek weld when you're aiming down your sight, which I find to be very useful and comfortable. Okay. As far as internals, there were a few things that I did. One, you have to do, because when you buy the gun, it doesn't come with the inner barrel. The inner barrel is a tight bore maple leaf. It came a little bit longer than I wanted it to, so I did have to cut it down a little bit and then of course crown it. Okay. And for my hop up, I am using the 4-Quad Friction Pro. I've mentioned this in my previous videos. I'm having a lot of success with these, and the flight path is very predictable and I like it a lot. So I've had them on all my guns, rifles and pistols. The last thing that I've done internally is the nozzle guide for the bolt carrier group, and this is something that was absolutely necessary because the previous one that was included with the kit snapped, and other ones that I use as well snapped as well. So the one that I bought came from EVIC. It's a reinforced one and it seems to be working great. So that completes this video of how I accessorize my SIG Rattler LT, but I would love to hear your thoughts about possible accessories and how you would decorate or accessorize your SIG Rattler or any gun that you have out there. It's always good to see what's out there. There was a time I didn't even know about certain products here and there, and then now, yeah, it's a community and we're all here to help each other, and that's very neat that we can all share about our experience with products, our experience about certain things, and then we can pass on this knowledge so that the people who come after us don't have to learn the hard way. This is my current setup right now, but who knows, right? I think this, I want to say it's this final form, but things always change. You never know. On my Noveski accessorizing video, or how I showed that, how I kitted it up, which a video that's garnered about 15,000 views right now. It looks nothing like what it looks right now. Right? So this is the current setup that I have for it. I got rid of the GBRS Hydra mount. People didn't like it with the Noveski thing. I get it. I tried it, see what I want to do with it, and so, but I went with this look right here. And if you guys want to, I can go into detail with this in another video about how I did this. So anyway, hopefully you guys got something out of this video and you enjoyed it at the very least. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care and God bless.